G'day, welcome to The Verdict. I'm Jeff McTainsh. Good to have your company here on Sky Sport. This is a show where we break down the hot issues in sport. A bit of a difference today. We're going to look back at the year that was 2020 and peek ahead to 2021. Now, with me today to, I guess, debate some of these categories is the Goran Paladin. Look at that beautiful shirt he's in, and look at those guns. Have you been working out?
Pew, pew.
I have actually.
Yeah.
Just a little bit in the last few weeks. Thanks for noticing, Jeff.
And Glen, Larmer, you always look fantastic. You've got a great exercise regime. Good to see you.
Thanks very much. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Just.
Wonderful jacket too.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Did you borrow that or?
No. There's a long story behind this jacket, which we don't have time to get into.
Okay.
But we do have time to get into the year in review. Look, this is a hot topic, right? Sports Person of the Year.
Jeff, I want to find out more about the jacket.
Okay. He just got it from an op shop down the road.
Yeah.
Union Road, did you?
I don't.
No,
even...
it looks good, mate.
Oh,
We're
thanks,
not.
mate. Yeah, no, I don't know what brand it is.
We'll say Working Style. They sponsor Sky.
Yes.
Hey, look, we'll go with Sports Person of the Year. Let's start with that. Okay. Glen Larmer. Who is your Sports Person of the Year and why?
I just think we were going through these kind of awards. I think we just have to preface. I honestly found it very difficult to pick winners in all of these because there's actually been not much sport this year.
Yeah.
However, I've gone for Kane Williamson. Kane Williamson, I thought...
Kane Williamson?
Yes, absolutely. Averaged 87 in Test cricket this year, 50 in T20s.
Did you see any of the cricket?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. No, and I've had to be a little bit loose with the definitions here, sports person here. I just think that someone like Kane Williamson deserves to be acknowledged every year because he is just an outstanding New Zealand sport. I think he's underappreciated in New Zealand sport.
No, he's not.
He is.
We love him.
Gets it. He doesn't make noise off the field, right? And this is why outside of him playing, no one ever talks about him in New Zealand sport. No one talks about him on the streets.
We are talking about him. He's our best ever batsman.
Then he goes out there and he nails time and time again. He's our captain. He's an upstanding human being off the field, and I just love him.
Okay.
So he's my sports person of the year.
Because he's a nice guy.
Absolutely. And he's a winner. He's a winner.
Yeah.
He's a winner.
Why didn't you bring your Steady the Ship hat in? That would have suited your jacket, actually.
Yeah, probably.
See, and that's a perfect example as to how we are putting him up on a pedestal.
He's a cult hero.
Yeah.
So, Goran, so you've got Kane Williamson, Goran Paladin. Who's yours? Why?
Yeah, well, I'm not massive on UFC. I don't know any of the holds or anything like that.
You look like you do.
No, I've never done it in my life.
Okay.
I'm not a violent man, but
I'm not a fighter.
Somebody who has gotten me involved in it every so often, I'll pay for the pay-per-view as well, Israel Adesanya. And, you know, he's the middleweight champion, hails from Nigeria/New Zealand. We celebrate him like he's one of our own, and he is. And he had 2 title defences this year, one against Yoel Romero back in March, I think it was, and one more recently against Ricky Martin in disguise, otherwise known as Paulo Costa. And I just can't go past him. And it's not just what he's doing in the octagon, it's everything else. Like he's got this awesome persona, he talks the talk, but he walks the walk. And so, yeah, Sports Person of the Year for me, Israel.
So you've gone Kane, you've gone Israel. Look, I have to agree with Goran, and because obviously
he likes UFC.
No, also he was named Halberg Sportsman of the Year as well. So, and look what he's doing on a massive popular stage at the moment.
Should have been Nossi, eh?
In the UFC. I would give that one to Israel Adesanya. Rightio. Team of the Year.
Yeah,
Take it away.
Well, I had real trouble actually picking an actual team because I can't pick the Warriors because for me they're the battlers of 2020. But for me, Team of the Year, they need to be in the top 4. It didn't happen. Didn't make the top 8. So I have to cast them aside. All Blacks not good enough. So I'm going to go for a team off the field as my Team of the Year, and I'm going to give it to the NRL and Peter V'landys, run by Peter V'landys. I mean, I think what he did...
Bad shout.
Actually, what he did to get the NRL up in May after the first lockdown was nothing short of remarkable. And if you actually think back to the criticism they copped at the time, even from this side of the Tasman, yet he dotted every I and crossed every T, got it back, and we never had an issue once it resumed. So I thought that was a remarkable achievement in what was the height of the virus. So the NRL and Peter V'landys
and you
as
know
Team
what?
of the Year.
He also put pressure on the other sporting organisations in Australia, around the world. Look, we can get this back up and running.
Yeah, mate.
We've got these measures in place. And so, all of a sudden we're seeing the AFL back up and running, and I think they were almost.
Well, the A-League copped a bit, didn't it, for the way that was handled as well.
So they're my team of the year.
Not a bad shout.
Yeah, thanks.
See, unlike you, I am going the Warriors because what they went through, they were basically trailblazers. We're seeing the Wellington Phoenix, they're about to do it in the A-League. They're over there at the moment. The Breakers are probably going to have to do it in the ANBL, but. The Warriors, they're my team of the year, despite the fact that they finished 10th.
Fair enough.
It's a tough one for me to decide this because I agree with you, Glenn. I think that the NRL did a great job getting things off the ground. But at the end of the day, you support a team that plays in the competition. And I think the fact that the Warriors went over there got also close to...
But they didn't even make the top 8.
Yeah, they were right in it until the last 2 rounds, though.
Yep.
Did they make the top 8?
No, they didn't. But
they didn't. But you have to
all of the things that were against them.
What's waiting? Exactly. 100%. He's got it right.
And getting guys in, the loan players, the players that went home. Stephen Kearney being sacked.
Yeah, I get all that.
Hey, Glenn, if my math serves me correctly, you're 2 behind now. 2-0 to Goran.
Okay.
Hey, so let's move on to most improved. I'll let you
start.
It's
not a competition, is it?
No, it's not.
I'll let you start this one.
Yes, it is.
Goran, most improved.
You go first.
You go first.
Most improved. Okay, so this might sound a little bit strange, but the winner of my most improved award for 2020 is Kiwis international Tohu Harris. Let me explain. 2019 was a really bad year for him. The games that he played for the Warriors, he played injured, and then he spent a lot of the time on the sideline as well through injury. In 2020, he came back. He was an absolute force in the middle for the team, and he won the Simon Mannering medal. So for me, most improved, Tohu.
Yeah, look, I didn't think of him actually, because he's always been great.
But he wasn't last year.
Well, he was injured for like 3/4 of the season.
And that's how he improved.
Yeah, fair enough. Look, yeah, that's fine.
His body improved, and so did his play.
As we've discussed, sport is subjective.
He was on the field. He could play.
Hey, I'm not bagging your opinion, brother. Just.
I'm not bagging you either.
Yeah,
Hey, guys, please chill out. Let Glenn go, please.
Well, I'm going to go for Shaun Johnson, and we are being a bit rugby league focused.
Yeah, you are. Change it up.
Yeah, I know. But Shaun Johnson, I actually thought, given his first season at the Sharks was pretty poor, didn't really do much, and it was a real bummer to see him injured because at the end of the season, because I actually thought he was really good for the Sharks this year.
Yeah.
And I like Shaun Johnson. I was gutted when he left the Warriors, so I'm just happy that he seems to be happy. I mean, he's dad now, he's married, and he's playing good rugby league, and we can still enjoy him playing for the Kiwis. So I was really pleased to see him bring out his best form for the Sharks in 2020.
Yeah, and he spoke about his first year with the Sharks. I guess he underestimated the going across the ditch, having to adjust, and he adjusted really well this year. Shame about the injury. I hope he does come back. They're difficult injuries to come back from, but he's still young, and I'm sure he can and be a key figure for not only the Sharks but the Kiwis
at the World Cup next year, mate. Yeah. Fingers crossed, man.
The remarkable thing about that, and this is where I give one to Glenn finally, is that I think Shaun Johnson for such a long time has had this expectation over his head, on his shoulders, particularly when he was at the Warriors, goes across to the Sharks, as you pointed out, Goran, and again had more expectation at Cronulla, finally gets a chance to settle in, embed himself there and start playing some good rugby league, and I think I'd have to agree with Glenn on that. Shaun Johnson, most improved. Sorry, Tohu. So that's
Tohu.
But can I just say,
Tohu.
I think the Warrior, he getting the Simon Mannering medal was the right decision. He had a fantastic season, has a wonderful year.
Right, let's tear into the next one. Biggest disappointment. I'll go with you first, Glenn.
All Blacks. I've got to say, I was hugely disappointed with the All Blacks this year. Not only with the losing to Argentina, where they were just not in that game. I'm still struggling to think why they weren't in that game. There was every reason for them to be in the game, but I'm still not coming up with a reason why they weren't in that game. And then even the next game they played against Argentina, good All Black side would have been 38-0 up at half-time, not full-time. I thought the performance in Australia against Australia and Wellington was abject as well. They had a couple of good games, but based on what they've actually delivered over a long period of time, they were massively disappointing this year, surely.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Only one way to go from here.
Yeah, and they kind of bottled it halfway through, it was halfway through the what are they calling it? The Tri-Nations? Not the Rugby Championship, because South Africans weren't involved.
Yeah.
But they had the upper hand, and then they they just released it when they made all those changes for the next game against the Aussies.
Yeah.
They had like a 38-point victory in game 1, and they're like, oh, that's it, that's done.
Yeah.
Made all those changes, lost the game, lost their impetus, their momentum, carried on through that Argentina game. So
It's only going to get tougher from here for them as well. You know, once the Springboks get back playing.
Yeah.
You know, we're back up into the Northern Hemisphere again. You know, France look like they're moving in the right direction again, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, it's not going to be easy over the next couple of years.
Nah.
I think you'd have to be a confident person to think after the World Cup that it was going to be a quick fix for the All Blacks, bringing in a new coach, making a few selection changes. No doubt they've got the personnel and the cattle to do the job, but I think you'd be foolish to say that the All Blacks can continue on with this expectation that we win every single Test match. All teams have to go rebuilding phases, even the All Blacks. And we've had such a great record for such a long time, but invariably there are times in the past where the All Blacks have struggled, and maybe we're just seeing, that next phase. It doesn't happen very often, does it?
I think we were all quite aware that the All Blacks can't win every match, but these were matches that they should have won because they did have the cattle at their disposal. It was just through team selection that they lost them.
And Argentina, with all due respect, Argentina and Australia are not second and third in the world,
No.
are they? Or
Exactly.
The world. That's a worry.
I think we can take a loss against England. We can take a loss against Ireland and South Africa.
Yeah, occasionally. Yeah, absolutely.
But Argentina, who haven't played in 400 days.
That's
I'll tell you what, isn't it remarkable? If we were putting this on a worldwide selection, you'd have to say most improved this year was Argentina. I mean, that was unbelievable coming in. They were
remarkable.
I think everybody expected AB's 13 plus, even the Wallabies against them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So to do as well as they did, guys.
Hey, can I say what I've
your one, and I know you've got a few there. So which one are you setting?
So I was going to say All Blacks or possibly the Chiefs, because the Chiefs, they were doing all right before COVID, and then when Super Rugby Aotearoa kicked into gear, 0-8. What happened? And Warren Gatland had arrived to the Chiefs with much fanfare, and rightly so. I mean, geez, he's done everything, and they didn't win a game. But I guess the biggest disappointment for me in 2020 is David Higgins.
How so?
Well, he stands there.
What would David say?
He's trying to tell us that Parker and Farr is like the fight of the century. Well, no, it's not. Oh, look, we're going to put Joseph and Junior together. You're going to pay a lot of money to see it. It's going to be so much better than David Tua and Shane Cameron. We're out of money. We need some cash. So can you please pay for this fight? Thank you. No, I'm not going to. Yeah, that was a big disappointment.
It's a
beautiful. Because who is Junior Farr?
Beautiful thing.
If Junior Farr, with
He's
respect,
beaten Joseph Parker before.
Oh, yeah, as an amateur years ago. But listen, if Junior Farr walked in here, I wouldn't even know him.
No.
Yeah, but David Jr. has beaten Joseph in the past.
So what?
Caveman David.
It just goes to show how far down the pecking order Joseph Parker has fallen.
I think you're
I
think you're being a bit harsh on David Higgins.
I'm not.
Your impersonation of him was
It's an
actually...
outstanding
spot on, isn't it?
Yeah, it's outstanding.
Hi, David. I hope you're well.
But look, all David is trying to do is make money for his fighter. That's all he's doing. He's just a boxing promoter.
Yeah.
He also takes bookings. Goran, he does a great Steve Hansen as well. Hey, let's well, Steve. I mean, I'd have to go. Biggest disappointment was the All Blacks this year. So I'll give that one.
Very good at
Glen.
impersonations yourself, Jeff. By the way, aren't you?
We'll go with that. So Steve, I mean,
the All Blacks suck because I wasn't there.
You're good at impersonations, Jeff. Did you not hear me just before?
no, we'll leave that. But we'll go with. We could go with the favourite moment of 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
do that.
Well, look, I've gone a bit random with the favourite moment. It's nothing to do with New Zealand, although there was some... I know there was one New Zealander playing in this game. The Super League final between St Helens and Wigan was incredible.
Favourite moment?
Yes. You know why? Because there was brilliant. It was brilliant sporting theatre.
Spreading Marmite on toast in the morning was.
So the game was the game was lacking in points, 4-4, right near the end of the game.
4-4.
Then Wigan, listen, Wigan got a penalty.
What a game!
Wigan got a penalty. Zach Hardacre tried to kick this penalty to win the game.
4-4.
Win the game from 45 metres out, missed it. It was called in the end goal by St Helens. Then they go upfield onto the Wigan 40 on the last set of the game, and then they try to kick the winning field goal to win it 5-4, right, in the last second. Hits the post, bounces down, bounces again on a weird angle. St Helens player rushes through, picks the ball up, scores a try just before the end of the before the dead ball line, and they win 8-4. Seriously, have you not seen it? Unbelievable sporting finish.
Maybe Jeff and I can come around to your place and watch it on the old Sky recorder or
it on record.
Well, I've got it. It's actually on the Sky Sport Highlights app, which I've been politely told to turn on. Put it on airplane mode. I can show you right now.
I
What
want to
about
see.
the promotion?
Hey?
Okay,
So that was my favourite sporting
So an
moment.
8-4
And
game of
before
rugby
you
league.
diss me,
All right.
watch it.
Okay,
Watch it.
all right,
Seriously,
yeah,
watch
yeah.
it.
Hey,
You
whoa.
just broke my pen. That was a loner.
Don't
I'm never
throw
going to be able to
things.
get the.
Hey,
the
Fell
tip
down
there.
there.
relax, please. So yours is the Super League final. What's yours?
Favourite sporting moment of 2020 was the return of rugby after the first lockdown.
Right.
You know, seeing all those fans turn out at Eden Park was just brilliant. It's kind of like this massive release. You know, we've been literally caged up for weeks on end. Sport comes back, and what an occasion it was. And you know what? Like, I've been crying out for years. No one's listened, of course. I've just been crying out in silence.
It's all right, mate. We're here for you. We'll talk later.
I just want.
Walk out of the studio.
Yeah,
I don't want to see Super Rugby teams go up against teams in South Africa or Australia or Japan to have like a New Zealand-centric
Yeah, it was good,
competition and have that competition just be so good. It's such a high level of rugby. Yeah, that was my favourite
fair
moment.
enough.
As
by a
much as
long
I'm
way.
looking forward to watching the Super League final
Yes.
on your phone,
Of course.
I'd have to agree with Goran. And
That's
I think that given what we've all been through this year, collectively as a public, as a nation, to see rugby on our screens again and to have take the family along, take the kids along to afternoon football and seeing the best of the best in New Zealand playing, I think it was chicken soup for the soul, wasn't it? It was great in a tough year.
You know what? Shout out to Kirsty Stanway as well, who did an awesome job of really building the atmosphere as I was watching at home. I couldn't get a ticket to the game.
Okay, gents, we'll fire one in here. Headline of the year. Now, there've been a few of them around the world. Glen, what's your headline of the year in the sporting world?
Well, look, we've got to, I think, acknowledge at this time the passing of two of the greats of sport. So I'm going to talk about Kobe Bryant. It seems a long time ago. In fact, you had to battle when things happened in the early start of the year. You have to actually try and remember, was it actually last year or early this year? But it was actually in January. And I mean, when that happened, I was working at the time, and it was one of those moments like I was working when Princess Diana passed away, and the little flash pops up on the computer screen. She's dead in a car crash. You kind of go, whoa. Same with Kobe. Same feeling for me. I mean, and then you hear about the circumstances. It was just absolutely tragically. Tragic circumstances, and he's so young. So that was a big deal, I think, at the time. The death of Kobe Bryant, and wonderful in the end, I guess, for the Lakers to go on and win the title. Although it's still weird watching sport, big time sport with no crowds.
With a virtual crowd on the screens.
It just didn't cut it for me. But yeah, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, almost surreal that
Yeah,
day, when
yeah.
the news filtered through about Kobe.
Yeah.
And you're right, the circumstances around his passing, it's just like, wow, it's almost like a movie. But for me, being a footballer growing up, the passing of Diego Maradona, and how it affected so much of the footballing world. And the really awesome thing is seeing some of the video footage of him from like when he was really on song. You know, the World Cup where everybody remembers it for the hand of God. But geez,
the other
he
goal,
played
wasn't it?
some
Yeah.
magical football. The guy, he was untouchable on his day. Yeah, the second goal that you referenced, Jeff, where he basically dribbles from halfway and goes around half the England team to score. Just sublime. And yeah, I saw a video just a couple of weeks back doing the rounds on Facebook, going through your newsfeed, and an old football friend had posted this thing, and it was like basically a compilation of all of the wonderful things he did during that World Cup. Nobody could get close to him.
Yeah.
And he was doing things that, he was like 20 or 30 years before his time. And, we can talk about the hand of God, we can talk about his addiction to recreational substances, but what he did on the football field and how he united the people of Argentina, really sad day, actually, the day that he passed.
Yeah, two greats of their respective sports. Certainly was a sad year, passing of Diego Maradona and, of course, Kobe Bryant. Rightio, let's move on. What are you looking forward to next year?
Well, look, nothing's changed. No, the same things every year for me. Warriors will win the NRL and the Kiwis will beat Australia. So that's what I hope for every year. And on a personal note, of course, Tokyo 2020 didn't happen this year, and I was going to go to the Paralympics as well. Fingers crossed both of those will go ahead next year, and I'll be in Japan. I have no idea how it's going to work or what drugs I'll need to take to
Whoa.
survive.
Whoa!
You know?
Hey,
Oh, you're
no,
talking
no.
about vaccinations and things like that.
not viruses,
Yes,
vaccines. Yeah.
vaccines, yes. So fingers crossed those two events go ahead.
Yeah, from a selfish point of view, I'm looking forward to
Work.
the Warriors.
Yeah.
Warriors being back at Mount Smart Stadium at some point. So Glen Larmer can call the action. The
You
voice of
confront
rugby
it.
league. Yeah, I'll be like, over to your game day commentator,
Glen Larmer.
Glen Larmer.
Let's rock.
There you go. So I suppose I've got to tally this up. I agree. Just seeing Warriors back.
Glen.
You can't really. You sort of were both.
Glen.
You had a sort of similar answer for that one. But Goran wins that. So
I do.
So you split. No, you're not split.
I've won.
I lose.
You've won. Yeah.
I lose.
You lose. Yeah.
Larmer loses.
Rightio, that is, thanks gents, that is us for another
Great
week
job,
on The Verdict.
great job.
Thanks for joining us.
Merry
Take
Christmas,
care
mate.
and we'll catch you next time.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Okay. I might just tidy up that last bit. I'll be like, Glen wins, and then
Yes.
Glen wins.
Yes.
Oh no, you win.
look.
Sorry, mate.
Look at all those sticks.
Oh, okay. All the ticks, yeah.
And your pen still works, by the way.
Okay. I'll just look at them. Okay. Yeah, cool. Rightio, well done, Goran. You win that one. Sorry, Glen,
Thanks,
but it will be good to see you both on the league field next year doing your business
Great job.
for Sky. And that is us on The Verdict for this week. Thanks very much indeed for your company. Great to have you with us. We'll see you next time on Sky Sport.